Hello everyone, welcome back to our distant learning program. In this video is the video lesson for your first session. So on the first session, you are going to study the speaking tutor book and the unit is the unit 6. We have already studied some important concept as well as the keyword for our lesson 1, which is about how are product made, and those product we talk about the pencil, right? So in this video you are going to study some of the dialogue tip in order to improve your speaking skill. So this lesson you can open your speaking tutor books to page 106 and you will see the important lesson there. So without any further ado, let's start our lesson today. So the dialogue tip that you are going to study, we have two tips. The first one is to explain the process of making something. For example, in our lesson, we talk about how pencils are made. So the speaker explained the process of the pencil making. And then you need to learn how to give supporting reason to each process. Why it is important to proceed that process. And these are the activities that you are going to do in this video. So the first activity, you will listen to Mr. Clawford again. So he is the man who explained the process of making pencil. And then you need to analyze the three major parts in the process of making pencil. Last but not least, you need to each part has a few steps. You need to think of the step in each part. So without any further ado, let's listen to the conversation one more time to get the important information about the pencil making process.
Dialogue: How pencils are made.
Mr. Crawford, can you tell us a little bit about how pencils are made?
Yes, I'd be glad to. The most important thing, of course, is the wood that holds the lead. We always use cedar.
Cedar? Why do you use that kind of wood?
We use cedar because it is soft. We could use oak or maple, but then the pencils would be too hard to sharpen.
Oh, that makes sense. How do you prepare the cedar wood for pencils?
First, we cut down a tree. Next, we slice a block of the wood into thin boards. Then we stain it to give it color.
How do you get the lead in the center of the pencil?
Well, we put grooves in the board, and then we put the lead into those grooves. Next, we glue another grooved board to the first one to make a sandwich with the lead in the middle.
So what you have is a bunch of pencils attached, side by side. How do you make the individual pencils?
We use a machine that cuts the 6 sides of each pencil and at the same time cuts the pencils into separate pieces.
Wow, that's really interesting. How do you finish the pencils?
The next step is to paint the pencils and then attach the eraser ferrule. That's the metal ring on the end of the pencil. The last step is to fix the eraser into the ferrule.
Mr. Crawford, we've certainly learned a lot about how pencils are made. Again, thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
It was my pleasure.
Okay, everyone. So these are the conversations between Mr. Clawford, which is the man who specializes in pencil making, and with a bunch of kids. So when you listen to this conversation, I hope you get the idea of the three major parts in the process of making a pencils and the detailed information about each part. So let's start with the first part, which is the preparing the wood. So to make a pencil, you need to prepare wood. You need to have the special wood they use. Okay, so they use a type of wood that is very soft, so that you can sharpen the pencil easily. So in this part, the first things you need to do is to cut down the tree, because the manufacturer need special wood in order to make pencil, so they need a tree, and then they slide a block of wood into thin board. So they make the wood to become a thin board, and they strain it to give it color. As you can see, pencils have different color to draw the customer attention. Mostly kids use pencil, so if you give a good color, kids really like that. And in the part 2, which is the second part, you start to make the pencil, which is the making the pencil. There are a long process there. First, they put groove in the board, and then they put the lead, as you already know, the lead, which is the middle part of the pencil, into those groove, and they glue another groove board to the first one to make a sandwich, right? And they use a machine that cut the six side of each pencil. So at the same time, the machine cut the pencil into separate pieces. When I was a kid, I really wonder how can they fit that black part of the pencil in the middle of the wood. I really wonder that. But yeah, now as you listen to the conversation, you understand how they did it. And the last part, which is part 3, you need to finish the pencil, is finishing the pencil. So here they painted the pencil with a color, and then they attach the eraser furrow. As you use a pencil, it's very beneficial. When you make mistake, you can use eraser to erase those mistakes. Then the last step is to fix the eraser into the furrow. So furrow is a plate metal that hold the eraser at the bottom part of the pencil. So these are the 3 parts of the pencil making process. So as I told you the objective of the lesson, which is to talk about the process and give supporting reasons, because it is really important. When you telling only the step or the process, it doesn't make sense. You need to explain why that process is important. You need to explain the reason why they need to do that. For example, here they choose the cedar, cedar to make pencil. So cedar is a type of tree which have a soft. It is a type of soft tree. So why they choose this type of tree? Why? The speaker gave the reason, because it's easy for a user to sharpen the pencil, and then they strain the wood to give color to it. So when they give the color, what is the reason why you need to color the pencil? And the last step is to fix the eraser into the furrow. Why you need an eraser? Why you need to have a furrow here? So it is a good idea to explain why this process is important in your speech. So in the case of your presentations, when you have the topic, let's say in our technological world, the process of creating Facebook account, you don't just say first you do this, second you do that, but you need to explain why you need to do this, why you need to upload your photo into your Facebook account. What is the reason behind this? So it's always recommended to give reasons to support and to give more information about the process of doing something. So in the dialogue tip, so the speaker presents the step or the process of doing something clearly, and then they give the reasons or example to show why the step or process is important. You can replicate, you can copy this technique into your own presentation. As I gave you an example earlier, in the process of creating Facebook account, why you need to put your phone number, why you need to put email address, why you need to upload your photo, what are the reason behind all of those things. It's always recommended to explain the reason. It is really helpful and a good way to do presentations, to talk about the process of doing something. So everyone, I think this short tip will help you to improve your presentation skill and your speaking skill related to the process of doing something. And now it's come to the end of our first video session, and you have a short break. When you come back, we are going to study another subject, which is the writing practice. So everyone, enjoy your short break and see you again real soon.